I wake up to the same old fight, chasing shadows in the night. Promises made, but I let them fade. Caught in the cycle, I'm feeling betrayed. Round and round, I'm losing ground. Trying to break free, but I can't see. These negative patterns are haunting me. Nights turn to days, I'm losing my way. Thought I found peace, but it's led me astray. Chasing the high, but it only brings pain. The more I run, the less I gain.
Hey everybody, hey, and welcome to another session of Tarka Said Again. And today we have with us Mr. Brian Lynch. Welcome.
Hey, how y'all doing out there?
This is Fam, and he is a tax preparer. And you all know it is that time. It's time for you all to start getting your paperwork together, getting it organized, because they do like when it's organized.
Oh, yes.
And handing it over. Yes, I hear the stories about people just here versus
hmm
having it organized, categorized. But he's gonna give us some background information. First, I want to know, like, what made you get started in this field?
Well, it's kind of a long story. So, before I was in this business, which is now, I think, year 12 or year 11 or 12,
Okay.
somewhere around that. So, before that, I sold cars. So, my former
Okay.
mentor, he was selling a car to my dealership. And we just started talking. And once we started talking, he was just telling me how he was helping people and he had these different things going on. I got intrigued. I started weighing the options like, okay, well, if, you're doing this and you're helping all of these people and you make a decent living, this is more than what I'm getting for selling one car and I don't have to be in the hot sun. So.
Makes sense. They make it make sense. And that's the CENT.
Yeah, so
Okay.
ultimately that's what got me intrigued, and even before I sold cars, recently I took this test called the Myers-Briggs test, and it's something that the military uses to like kind of get you in a job, see what your personality type is, and ironically, for my personality type, which is like 2% of the United States, accounting was the number one job. So I'm actually in the
Wow.
field that I'm supposed to be in, and it didn't happen like that initially. So
And believe it or not, those assessments and surveys, those have some accuracy to
they
it,
do, they do.
So I saw you had a post out there on social media,
hmm
and it was related to encouraging people or admonishing people to stop filing exempt.
Oh man.
So what brought that about?
So, like I said, I've been in the tax industry for 11, 12 years now. So, during the last administration, the president made some reforms, and in those reforms, the W-4 was changed. So before it used to be like, okay, you can boot one, two allowances, et cetera, but it's not like that anymore. So now what's happening is for those what took place of the allowance spot, you have to put a money amount. Basically, it's like the child tax credit in there.
Uh-huh.
So people are putting like, okay, it says put $2,000 here. So people may have two or three kids. They may put 6,000 in there, or they may put themselves two. They may put 8,000. Well, what happens is from that point is you already have your pre-tax stuff, which is your insurance and your 401k. That's already coming out before the taxes. So by the time the taxes come, you already have those allowances. It's already messing everything up. So by the time you get to me, which is, the whole 52 weeks is going by, now in that withholding spot, it's $0 there. So now,
Mm.
now you're coming to me and you're saying, okay, work a Christmas miracle. And I'm just like, man, shoot, like, like, and I don't know, ma'am or sir. It's not looking too good right
Listen.
now, and I'm not trying to be in no handcuffs helping you out. So,
Right. That makes sense. And just thinking about that, because that was one of the actual questions that I was going to ask. Like, what are some myths, right? Or, like you said, them thinking you're a magician, to make things happen,
mm-mm,
crunch some numbers, working
mm,
miracles. So
mm-mm.
you kind of just answered.
And again, okay, if I go do that, if I go be the LeBron James of the tax business, if I'm trying to go be the best, I do this. Okay, well, there's a LeBron James audit waiting for me that I got to go and deal with. And,
Yes.
at the end of the day, the person is just going to say, oh, well, I just went to you and you did this. And then now I got an audit and now they're leaving you bad reviews. Now you going viral in Orlando and, oh, no, like, no. It's not a good look.
Right. So auditing is just a part of the business, correct?
It
But
really,
you
it
just
really
want to be
is. Yeah, it really is. Because the earned income tax credit is like the number one credit out there. So, if you're a tax professional and most of your clients are, earned income tax credit or child tax credit people. So the IRS can select up to 50 of your files to review. With those 50 files for each thing, like the filing status, the residency, the relationship, etc., they can find you up to, I think, $560 per thing that's wrong. So if you don't have those docs, if you don't have that proof, that's $1,500 plus times 50. And
that
this is
is
how people, yeah, this is how people, get messed up in the business, or they get fined, or they gotta, they got the IRS agent looking all at their files. Now oh man, I don't got the birth certificate for Miss, Johnson. She don't got the proof of residency here. It just gets bad. So, a lot of the time I'm overly asking for stuff because at the end of the day, even if before they audit me, they audit the taxpayer. So I got to make sure that our ducks are in a row. So, okay, let's assist this person because it truly does come with the business. It's really inevitable. Like if you're not getting audited, you're probably not doing a lot of volume if none of your clients are getting audited. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of one of the things like,
and that makes sense because sometimes people feel like because you get audited, that automatically puts you in the negative category that you're doing
it's
something
all
wrong,
random. Yeah, it's random. Like if you have
like a
earned income tax
lottery.
credit on there, yeah, it's just it may just be your time to okay, we got to show the proof now of what we filed. Okay, I need all this docs. I need your Uber stuff, even though you already gave it to me. Okay, and I actually need the mileage tracker now. Okay, you did. I need all that stuff. So even though you're supposed to, and the thing is, in our business, everybody's coming fast and furious. You can't get a lot of times you can't get every single thing right then at that moment. You know what I mean? Like you got to circle back like, okay, hey, I don't have this or hey, so I try to get as much of it as possible. And then you just kind of because again, it's coming fast and furious. We only here for 16 weeks.
Right. So, in thinking about when we talk about the law, how do you
Mhm.
stay up to date with the charges in tax law?
Yeah, so I'm a part of a nice group of distinguished gentlemen, as I like to say. So we go to like a due diligence trainings. The IRS hosts them, so I go every year. Then my mentor, he also puts on different classes, showing different things, showing audits, what happened, etc. So I try to make sure that my education is definitely ongoing. I'm
Hmm.
not stuck doing something that was 3-4 years ago. Like, no, I'm super current. I take
Right.
plenty of classes and I go to all the IRS forums and stuff like that. So I just try to stay on top of things, knowing all the changes because it changes every year. So, you got to make sure you stay on top of that stuff.
Exactly. Like continued education for
Mm-hmm.
any career choice that you're in. Definitely. Not only that, you want to be knowledgeable of your subject matter, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because again, you're gonna get hit with different walks of life. Every situation is different. They're not the same. Every client is different. So always I see people on social media. Oh, this person got this, or I'm in all kinds of tax groups. So I read the comments and I'm just like, man, I can't. All of this stuff. There's more context to it. Like okay, like this person got this, but that may not be your situation. Maybe they paid their
Hmm.
taxes and
Yeah,
you didn't. Maybe they went to school and you didn't. Maybe their child is under 17 and your child is over 17. Like it's just all kinds of different, it's all kinds of stuff that goes into it. So, you can't
yeah,
you can't you can't assume that it's going to be the same thing for every single person. So,
correct. What type clients do you deal with or your focal point for your tax company?
I would say our demographic, honestly, is I would say probably minority women would probably be the number one. Minority women between the ages of 25 and 45, usually with children. Usually
Mhm.
that's probably our number one demographic who we cater to.
And then do you also take self-employed?
Yeah, we do S corporations and stuff like that too. So I have a few of those clients as well. We have day traders, we have mechanic shop owners, we got all kinds of people that come into
Mhm.
our entire firm. So our firm itself, we have 4 locations. So we have Orlando, Tampa, Birmingham, Alabama, and also Pensacola too. So
Okay. And you all, I forgot to say, yes, he is the owner of
yeah.
Pinnacle Tax Solution. You're looking right at him. What steps do you take
Mhm.
to protect people's personal or their financial information?
If you're sending stuff to me, more than likely is in an email, and it's going to be my company's email. Or if you do come here with a file of paperwork, we got the filing cabinet. But most of the time, we scan everything. It's locked down on the computer. But we also keep a file too with the file cabinet. So we just, we are definitely one of those companies that don't just have everything open. Like, no, there's you got to put a password to get into the computer. You got to have keys to get into the file
Right.
cabinet. You got to, you know what I mean? You're not just going to be able to walk in and get anything out of here. Our Wi-Fi is super locked down. We got a public one, but then the other one is hard. The computers are hardwired in. It's not Wi-Fi. Ethernet's all through here. So we just try
Gotcha.
to make sure we keep everything, locked down.
And I can attest when you talk about the security or the codes, like having to put in maybe like your last four social to view
Mm-hmm.
your documents. I know
Mm-hmm.
I've experienced that with your company. So
Yeah, everything
that's
is PDF
confirmation.
encrypted and everything. So yeah.
And thinking about addictive patterns, because I always tie it back in, and you can chime in at any time. Some of those repeated behaviors or addictive patterns, as we say, people repeatedly filing late, right? And I know that's something that you all probably dread, because that means you're working later. It's an
Yeah.
extension when
Yeah.
you have to file those extensions. So that's one thing, repeated filing late. And I'll attest from time to time, I know I've been late. I try not to make it an annual thing.
Right. Well, I appreciate it.
Another one is avoiding finances out of fear. And I
Yeah.
know I've heard people say they put things off to the side because they don't want to know how much they're going to owe back.
Right.
That could be a thing. Another one, relying on refunds instead of budgeting. And we know from time to time, it's real out here,
Yeah.
and you might have to depend on the refund. But if
Right.
that is your repeated thing every year, then I'm sure you would agree that you might want to put some type of budget in place, change up some things, switch up
Right.
some things, maybe look for another job if it's not covering all of your
Yeah.
bills.
So to piggyback on what we were saying about the withholdings thing, so that can kind of answer what you just said. So I look at the withholdings as in a bank account, like it's something that you're putting away. You know what I mean? So instead of you put every single detail that you have in that box, if you got 2 kids and yourself, you putting 6,000 or 4,000. Why don't you put a little bit less? I mean, it's not going to be on your check, but at least it's put away. So now when you come in front of a tax professional like myself or anybody that works with us, they can get that money back for you versus you're getting it every week and you're just blowing it. You know what I mean? It's not making much of a difference. 50 times 52 weeks, that could be put up versus you just blowing it on Uber Eats or DoorDash or whatever you're
Right.
doing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then now you have a nice refund and you actually, okay, like, okay, I can actually make some changes because 50 a week is not going to make many changes versus if you had 5,000 at one time or if you had, you know what I mean? It's not going to, I would rather have the 5,000. So that's just me because,
Right.
I can do more things. Something
Right.
to think about.
And that makes sense when we talk about it, because you think about the next generation. I feel like at this age, I'm living for the next generation,
Mm-hmm.
trying to prep them and educate them. And that's
Right.
one thing that you don't want to be doing is passing down the poor
Bad
money
habits.
habits.
Hmm.
Correct. So, if there's anything else that you would want to share with the people that they could use, as well as giving us your contact information for your
Okay.
company.
Well, another thing too this year, with our big beautiful bill, there's no tax on overtime, and there's also no
Mm-hmm.
tax on tips. So you got your servers out there. There's no tax on those tips that you actually report, and the tips that you're not reporting. So
Mm-hmm.
it's good to have a good wrap on that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Especially if it's you're handling a lot of money at different times. Hey man, it may be a good thing to go ahead and claim that money because it may help you on your tax bill, or it may actually be the reason why you get a refund. And the overtime is a beautiful thing because you have people that like to go exempt. They like to go exempt. Or I got overtime, or I got a bonus coming. I'm gonna go exempt. Well, there's no tax on overtime, so just let it rock out. I'll be able to get it back. I'll be able to get it back.
Gotcha.
Versus you going exempt the whole year, and now
Mm-hmm.
we got a nice tax bill for you.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Something to think about. If you could go ahead and give us your contact information and where to
Okay, well,
find you.
if you're on social media, our business page is PT Tax Pro on Facebook, and then we are Pinnacle M Tax on Instagram. We did have another Facebook page, but something happened to it, so we had to create a
Okay.
new one and rebuild it back. We had to rebuild it back up, but we've been here a long time. If
Okay.
you're in Orlando office, our Orlando office is 68664 City Road. Again, my name is Brian Lynch. You can look me up on Facebook, Instagram, Brian L. Lynch. I'm not hard to find. Again, Forest
Okay.
City, 6866 Forest City Road. We're right on 434, right by where the Kathy's Wings used to be. If anybody's in the Evet area, we're right there.
Yes. I remember Kathy, some wings
Yeah,
and
we're
sauce.
right there. We right there.
Okay. Well, there you all have it from the man himself, one of the owners of Pinnacle Tax Solutions. I definitely want to thank you for coming into the studio to
Yeah,
give us
I
some
had to.
tax
I got
tips.
asked. I have to do it. Got to do it if I get asked. So.
I appreciate it. And you all that's listening, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to iHeartRadio, Spotify, and YouTube. Have a good one.